Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Katrina Ness, Vanessa Collins, and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings, Vanessa Collins, and Katrina Ness.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. We are coming to you live at Northwood University. Ted, we have an incredible panel with us today.
We do. We have the Northwood University Fixed Operations class with two students, Hanna and Zach McLeod, and led by none other than Mike Stoll from CDK. Everybody, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Ted, thanks for having us, and we appreciate what you and your crew does to support and put out good news about the preeminent greatest automotive university in the United States, Northwood University. So thanks again for coming, Ted. We appreciate you.
And Mike, I think we get a chance now to see it close up when we come here to Northwood. So tell us a little bit about the Fixed Operations class. We've heard so much about it and your involvement. In fact, Sarah, I think we need to call Mike Professor Stoll when we have him here on stage.
Well, that's awful kind. So CDK is heavily invested, Ted, in the future development of the future leaders in America, in North America, and wherever they might want to go across the globe. We have a learning lab here, where they can do live in process training, on the system itself. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to hang out with Hanna and Zach and their classmates in a fixed operations class. And we had a problem that we posed to the students this year to solve what Brian was talking about earlier, and that's the $420 billion customer pay labor market in North America and the defection of those customer pay labor customers to the independents, right? And we challenged them with a workflow design to win back those customers and how to keep them and sustain the growth. And I'll let Zach and Hanna talk about what they're doing, how they're doing it. They're designing a workflow, and then what the end game is when we have some dealers actually come in and challenge them on the project.
All right. Well, Hanna, I know I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. So tell us a little bit about the class and the great work that you folks are doing.
Yeah, so we split up into two groups. We have the service and then we have the customer. And so Zach and I are actually on the same team. We're on the service team. And then after a little while, we'll be going through a workflow. And so we're trying to split up each section of how a customer walks in all the way down to right when they leave and when they need to come back. So once the class is coming to an end, we go and we present it to dealerships, and it's just going to be great. It's the fact that we have this kind of opportunity to even present something like this to real professionals out there. It's something that I'll always be grateful for, and that's something only Northwood can offer.
So Zach, actually taking this out to real dealers and presenting them with the solutions that you've helped develop and getting their feedback.
Yeah, I think it's a really fun project to do solely because we're also learning to put this whole process together, but then pitch it to the dealership. That's something that not everyone gets to do in our class and gets to do in other classes as well. So I think Northwood has that big opportunity for us to really be working with those dealers and see that whole thing come together. Sorry.
No, well, Hanna and Zach, so it's incredible that you're going out to dealerships and getting to apply what you're learning in class with Mike into the real world. So what would you say has been, most impactful for you going through this process in this class? Hanna, I'll start with you.
Okay, so I would have to say the most impactful part I've had is we've had to get back up. I mean, Mike Stoll is such a great person, but he broke it down for us, and we're going even deeper than just surface level. We're getting down to something that not just trying to fix a problem, but we're trying to make it to where the dealership can actually use what we're learning and what we're trying to develop and bring it into their workspace.
Yeah, I would completely agree. I think that working through this whole process, you think you scratch the surface and then there's a whole nother layer underneath it where it's, what about this? What about this? What are we going to do if this happens? And that whole process just keeps digging deeper. So I think for us, we have the time and luxury to be able to dig a little bit deeper and go through that whole process again and again and again. So I think that's a really nice idea that we have.
We broke them up, Ted, the consumer side and the service department side, right? So we took half the class and said, okay, you go in this room and you think like a consumer and how do I want to be treated from the online process all the way into when I show up. And we said, okay, service side, you take from opening the reparator all the way through the technicians, the parts department, communication back to the consumer in order to improve the customer experience. So we didn't design this for what's good for all car dealerships. We took the focus of what's good for the consumer. Because at the end of the day, it's their love and their respect and their customer experience that we have to win back to automotive. And what was fun is they're in the middle of this. I've been not in class for the last week, but the customer class looks like this from workflow. It's really cool because they know what they want. But when you get to the dealership side, it's broke. You know, it's very actual what's happening right now. So next week, what we're going to do is we're going to crisscross a couple of the students from the service side to the consumer side and flip them over so they can start aligning the process. And then what actually happens, we have several dealers in the market that really look forward to coming up and enjoying this. It's not a debate, but the students know the workflow. They're trying to win back the customer pay labor. They're trying to get from 300 to 500 in customer pay labor, but the customer experience is the important part, right? And how do we win them back and keep them and retain them? So when they come in, they actually challenge. I didn't get them into the details yet, the students, but they actually challenge the workflow. And then the cool thing is, Hanna mentioned it already, they get to go out to the dealership and present the workflow that they designed to all the leadership group at the store. Wow. And then the end goal is maybe there's an opportunity for Hanna, maybe there's an opportunity for Zach, where the dealership personnel say, you know what, there's some brightness here, there's some newness here, there's some freshness here, and let's figure out how we can provide a career opportunity or a future opportunity for the students.
So Hanna first and then Zach, you're presenting that to the leaders at the dealership, real leaders. Can that be a little intimidating at times?
Oh, yeah, very well could. Before we started the class, we went and we saw specific service dealerships just down the road from Northwood. And so we got to see what it was like. We got to see what we liked and what we didn't like. And from there, we have to build off of that. And it's definitely scary, especially because we're both on the service side. Like, not saying the customer side was much easier, but it's hard to get knocked down so many times. And hopefully soon we can crack the code. We still have so much time left, but it's definitely nerve-wracking.
Yeah,
Zach?
I would definitely agree. I think that it's a little nerve-wracking to get in front of dealers, especially a decent amount of them, and tell them that there's places you can improve. I think not a lot of people want to hear that they can make some improvements, but I think now, from a young perspective, that's something we really have to offer, and that's something Northwood really fosters, is having young people in charge of making changes in the industry. So I think for us in the automotive, especially in the fixed op side, we can be that generation that kind of pushes everything forward and is able to make that change that's needed, I would think.
So Hanna, it sounds like perhaps some of the dealers or dealer people have challenged you, on some of the things you've presented.
Yes, they have, yeah. And it's hard, especially the first week. That's what you start with is, hey, we don't like this. We're going to work on it. And then we're going to come back in 18 weeks and we're going to tell you what to be better about. And so I definitely think that it's something that challenges also us to say, well, us students can do better. And so
what's interesting to me, Ted, is that Northwood University provides this automotive platform for these students to get to the OEM, to get to the aftermarket, to get to the retail. And when we go through the fixed operations side, it's not glamorous. Everybody wants to be up on the sales side and everybody wants to be up, doing the sales side. But when they sit and go through the fixed ops thing, they actually start to get enthused about what the opportunities, could be for them. And we've had several students that have been through this over the last couple of years that are now being very successful service advisors, assistant service managers. One of them's on a director's path already. So we're starting to see the fruits of the labor, of what they're doing, but it's hard. And they're not afraid to ask me questions and challenge me on what I'm talking about, because they say, Mike, you know what? We love you, but we think the consumer needs this. So that type of dialogue is very, very encouraging to me. And it's what keeps CDK involved in the development and the growth of these future leaders.
And Mike, I imagine all of these problems that you're solving in this classroom give the opportunity to really enhance the technology that you're also providing to both the dealer and the consumer.
Well, I'm going to let Zach speak on that, because he not only is like Hanna, a bright future leader, he took it very seriously and took his car into a dealership recently to get it worked on, and he actually got behind the scenes. So you might want to share about.
I did. Yeah, not completely by choice, getting your car towed into the store, but it was a good process to be able to see from the consumer side. I think that everyone does things a little bit differently, some better than others, and that's where you get to see those differences when you're really living it. Bringing your car in, you're waiting for the call, say that your car's done, you're going through the RO, you're seeing your price, everything of that sort. So I think to see that and be a part of it has really helped me through the project as well. That way I can really be kind of undercover in a way to see how everything's working.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way
In a
undercover.
good way.
So back to your comment, Sarah, that technology helps, but what we're coaching is the workflow design. And of the industry itself, when you ask an automotive group, do you have a written workflow for every individual service customer, every time, every way, all the way through the channel? It's about 35% right now. So what they're actually designing is a workflow that could be in practicum out in the marketplace in a best practice. So as you design a workflow for every customer every time, and with the end game of getting the consumers to be able to come back in, then you just lay that workflow down on the technology to create those efficiencies, and you increase the customer pay labor, you increase the customer's love for your organization, and everybody wins.
Well, Mike Stoll, congratulations to you and CDK for leading this here at Northwood University. Nothing like it in the industry. Hanna Wood and Zach McLeod, congratulations to both of you in the fixed operations class for all the good work that you're doing. Everybody, you're hearing an example at home of not only the real world application that students get here at Northwood, but I think also of the networking, all right, and the engagement and involvement with real people in the industry. So we're very humbled to be here at Northwood. Sarah Vantine and I.
American colleges are bulging at the seams today as hundreds of thousands of young people try to get college training to qualify them for jobs. The competition is intense. What makes Northwood different from other colleges?
Northwood is particularly different because of its approach to the business world.
Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Ted Ings and I are here today with Tony Owens. We are at Northwood University, and Ted, such a great privilege to interview the one and only Tony Owens.
You took my line, Sarah. I was going to say that's the one and only. Tony, welcome to Northwood University.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here again. I was here in June, and it's so great to be here again. This is, without question, the best college in the business. What can I say? You know, my LinkedIn says, Mr. Positivity. That's what it says about me. How can I not be positive? How could I not be? Look what this business is doing right now. This is the best time for the business ever. Dr. McDonald mentioned on an interview with Katrina's mother that she would not be left alone in this college to languish on with among the other people. That is so huge. This is a personal thing with these people up here. This college is amazing. The things they are doing is amazing. CDK, what can I say about CDK? Such a great thing for this college year. It's such a great thing. Mr. Benstock this morning talked about serving people, what it's all about. And he nailed it right on the head. This has been the best event ever. Great superstars here, great students, just a great time to be in the car business. It is so sensational. I'm just excited as can be.
Sarah, I can't think of any greater supporter of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and we have many great colleagues and friends here with us at Northwood. Tony Owens is at the top of the pack. He's there for all of the After Dark shows, the 4-day events, and now it seems all the pop-up events, especially the ones at Northwood.
That's right. Hey, I'm going to be here. I read in a pamphlet they're going to have something going on in April. I will be back. Take Arnold Schwarzenegger's line, I will be back. That's the way it's going to be.
Well, Tony is also going to be at Reynolds and Reynolds. We have that coming up, and then Bozard Ford Lincoln. I was telling Tony he's going to run the Triple Crown of the Fixed Ops Roundtable Triple Crown. And Tony, just, one of the things that I think is so incredible about you has always been, you said you coined Mr. Positivity. If you look at the chat, if you look at any of the comments, he is such a supporter for everybody in the industry, not just the Fixed Ops Roundtable, but he looks at so many professionals and up-and-coming professionals like our Northwood students.
Man, it's a passion for me. The young people, this university, the car business. It's my life. It's my life's work. I got 45 years in, and I was going to retire in 5 more to make it even 50. I've decided to go 15 more to make it even 60. They're going to have to call the National Guard to get me out of there. I love walking in a dealership. Dealerships are my life. They're my life's work, and I love it so much. And this is the best group in the business. I have so many great contacts because of Ted Ings and Sarah and the Fixed Ops Roundtable. How can I not be the best supporter? How can I not be?
And Tony, thank you also for all the mentoring that you do behind the scenes that people don't see before we get the After Dark shows started each Monday and Wednesday night. And you've been there as a mentor for so many people at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I don't know if you'd like to speak to that, but you've won the hearts of a lot of the people here at Northwood. I know Sarah and I yesterday, when we entered the conference area where the meeting was going to be, we saw a big gathering of all these professionals, and they were listening to somebody speak, and I thought it might be Dr. McDonald. Sarah, they were listening to Tony Owens, who was holding court on the floor.
I don't know what to say about that. Why anyone wants to listen to me, I don't know. I'll talk. Hey, I'll talk you to death. It's no problem. I love to talk, as you know. And I told Ted, I said, I got a lot to say here. How can I not have a lot to say? And I'm going to put this out there. I want to mentor people. Anybody that wants mentored, please reach out to me. Anything you need, I will be there for you. 24/7, 365. That's the way it's going to be. That's the way I do it. It's very important to me that this amazing business is left better than it was when I found it, and that's my goal.
And not only the students, but this weekend happens to be the International Auto Show weekend. I noticed that you've also been checking out a lot of the cars and vehicles that are here. I don't know if you want to speak to that as well, because I know you have a affinity for certain vehicles.
I love cars. I've owned 487 cars, and yeah, I know. That's why I'm still working. But Alexander just knocked it dead with this show. There's so many great cars here, and it's his last show, and he's going out with a bang. Great job, Alexander. Super.
Well, Tony, you are a passionate person when it comes to empowering people and mentoring people, but you also have a passion for the cars themselves. And I know I saw a shirt that you were wearing yesterday. And could you tell us a little bit more about your side projects that you do with vehicles?
Well, my money pit, I got my money pit. It's a Mark 8, it's my 5th Mark 8. And I love the cars. They were way ahead of their time when they came out in '93. Not so much anymore. Of course, I have added some things, reverse camera, some side mirror detection. I've been trying to paint it. That's working out pretty good, much better than it was. I love the car. I got 12 shirts. I want to be like Fred Flintstone, wear Money Pit shirt every day. That's the way it wants to be. So, yeah.
What a great opportunity. Tony Owens at Northwood University. Tony, you also have, over the years, coined nicknames for a lot of the people at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm not going to let you off the hook on that today. I know you have one for me. I know you have one for Sarah. What are some of the nicknames that you've got out there, Mr. Cheerleader?
Well, cheerleader's me, of course. I'm going to cheer everybody on. You're Mr. Authority, of course. How can you not be Mr. Authority? If you need to know anything about the automotive business, just reach out to Mr. Authority here and join the group and be participating in it. You're going to get a lot out of that. And Miss Dream Team here, what an amazing individual she is. Everywhere she goes, gold shows up. That's no accident.
And our good friend Ed Roberts, he has a nickname as well?
B-Top, one of the greatest men I know, next to you, probably the greatest. Nobody better than Ed Roberts. He's the best in the business, the best human being. Great book, too, by the way. If you haven't read it, Mile 1, you need to. I got it right here, Mile 1. It's a sensational book. I've got 3 of them, and I read them a lot.
What does B-Top stand for?
Best team on the planet.
All right, at Bozard. So Tony Owens running the trifecta. I think we're going to call this the Triple Crown, okay, in October. And look forward to having you on each leg of the Triple Crown, Tony Owens.
I'm looking so forward to it. Thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for everything that you and the Fixed Ops Roundtable have done for me.
Everybody, we're here at Northwood University, Sarah Vantine and I, with the one and only Tony Owens. We're here at the pop-up event, and we are going to be right back.
Go Mad!
Go Mad!